As the golden sun dipped low beyond the walls of Babylon, the city glowed beneath its fading light. The rooftops caught the last fire of day, and the temple walls shimmered like bronze in the distance. Yet the shadows stretched long, whispering of time's passing and the fragility of life. Babylon was strong, but even its greatness could not resist the march of age. Among its courtyards sat Arkad, older now, his beard silver, his hands steady but worn by years of labor and teaching. Around him gathered young apprentices, tablets in hand, eager to catch each word. His voice was calm, yet solemn. "Wisdom is not only for youth," he said, "but for every man who looks ahead with clear eyes. We must not only live for today's comfort, but also prepare for the needs of tomorrow." The apprentices leaned closer, sensing his words carried the weight of a lifetime. Not far away, a potter worked in his shop. His hands, once strong and tireless, now moved slowly. Yet with deliberate care, he placed his shaping tools into the hands of his son. Around them, shelves of clay jars stood in neat rows, glowing in the torchlight. It was more than pottery. It was a legacy. The skill, the trade, the means of livelihood would outlive the man himself. In this quiet exchange, the potter secured his family's future beyond his own strength. But not all stories ended with such care. Imagine a clay jar, firm and strong, suddenly cracking at its rim. Slowly, coins begin to fall, scattering across the ground, slipping beyond reach. This, Arkad explained, is the picture of a man who works but never prepares for uncertainty. Illness, misfortune, or death come uninvited, and the wealth he held so tightly drifts away like spilled water on the sand. Yet there is another way. In one courtyard, a father sealed a chest with care, pressing the clay firmly before handing it to his wife and children. Their faces softened with relief. That chest was more than gold. It was security, provision, a promise that they would not be left vulnerable when storms came. The glow of the sealed jar seemed to warm the very air around them. But in another courtyard, shadows told a different story. A family sat in silence beside a broken chest, its contents long gone. The walls cracked, the floor bare, their faces heavy with despair. Their father had not planned, and the future offered no shelter. Two families, two legacies, one marked by wisdom, the other by neglect. Back in Arkad's courtyard, the master leaned forward, inscribing words onto a fresh scroll. "Prepare today for the needs of tomorrow." The oil lamps flickered, reflecting in the eager eyes of the apprentices. Each stroke of his pen carried more than ink. It carried truth meant to outlast kingdoms. His students wrote after him, etching wisdom into their hearts as much as onto their tablets. And so Babylon's nights were filled with families gathering, elders beside children, generations united under the lantern glow. Meals were shared on rugs spread across the courtyard floor, goblets raised in gratitude, laughter echoing into the evening air. Here was a treasure beyond coins, the inheritance of love, stability, and foresight passed from one generation to the next. The scrolls of wisdom speak clearly, even today. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. Such words are not bound by time or language, for they reveal the heart of God, who calls his people to think beyond themselves and to build for generations not yet born. As Arkad rose at last, walking with steady steps into the distance, his apprentices followed with eyes full of respect. Behind him stood the fruit of his teaching, homes secure, vaults strong, olive trees rooted, families protected. The legacy of a man is not measured by his years, but by the wisdom he leaves planted in the soil of tomorrow. This is the wealth that time cannot steal, the inheritance that endures beyond Babylon's walls, and the treasure that even the desert sands cannot bury.